It's time for the Spoony One! Wrestling Show! It's time for the Spoony One! Wrestling Show!
I know I missed last week. I was at MagFest. I'm in kind of a crummy mood this week, so I'm just going to get this one over with. Already this show pisses me off. By the way, first off, it was great finally meeting Matthew and Sean to do the Botchamania panel. I know a lot of people were complaining about the fans. I actually had a really good time. Aside from some technical problems with the microphone. Man, the lighting here is bad right now. Aside from some technical problems, Matthew's kind of a quiet talker, so I'm sorry you couldn't hear him all that well. I did my best. Really, it was just us talking about the worst of last year, which was, believe me, there was enough to go around. Although, I do now realize how stupid it was to say that among all the worst things of the year, about half of them were TNA, which would make sense, considering the other half is the only other half, WWE, whatever. But there was some bad stuff. Anyway, okay. So, apparently last week, the big thing that happened was the Hardy Boys reunited. Oh, God. And Karen Jarrett, the ex-wife of Kurt Angle, came back. And they showed a very helpful recap that helped illuminate this. And now, how do I describe Karen Jarrett? Imagine if Vicky Guerrero were 10 times hotter and 10 times migraine-inducing shriller. Her voice is like slowly running over a dog with a tractor. Oh, I honestly, seriously, like, they had her talking for like 10 seconds. Kurt, you ruined my life, Kurt. I will not have you ruin my happiness, Kurt. I'm not even doing it justice. As annoying as that was, she's worse. So, Kurt Angle, we see him storming through the Impact Zone. And he pulls aside a production assistant, and he goes, You! Play my music! And the guy's like, well, you don't work? He's like, play my music! So the guy goes, he gets on this headset, he's like, play Kurt's music right now! So, first off, I was actually really impressed that the guy, for a guy who doesn't work at the company, he was like, alright, play Kurt's music. And the guy immediately, like, I figure there's like a computer or something where they have to like pull up the little, in iTunes and open up the Kurt Angle music thing, but this guy was like right on the ball. We were like, go, play Kurt's music. So he comes out, and I also got to give props to Borash. Borash is in the ring, and as soon as Kurt's music hits, Borash, like, immediately, he doesn't act surprised by this. He's not surprised, because apparently this was an unscheduled trip, obviously because he had to pull the production assistant aside and say, play my music. So for this unannounced visit, fucking Borash, man, as soon as the music started playing, he was like, and ladies and gentlemen, everyone please welcome pro wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle, and, like, without missing a beat, like, Borash was, like, right on it. So, Kurt comes out, and he starts talking, of course, about, he talked forever, really just kind of summing up that, kind of building up the backstory to this thing, trying to, I was actually kind of impressed they actually tried to explain this, because normally they don't put enough care into this one, but he's like, when we were married, I knew you were hanging around Jeff Jarrett, and I thought it was just because he owned the company, and I didn't think anything of it, but then turns out you were fucking him this whole time, and, oh, how stupid am I, but you ruined everything, and he's like, we can do this easy way or the hard way. We can either reconcile right now and just, we can go our separate ways for the kids, or I can drag out all your dirty laundry. I'm not even, I don't like this angle. I don't like this storyline just because I'm not really a fan of this whole thing where we're always shooting. Of course, we have to do this real life storyline, and I don't know, it seems really uncomfortable that we're using what really is a tragically failed marriage. You know, there really are kids at stake here being used as basically playthings in this storyline. You know, there really is a failed marriage here, from what I can tell, that started when Karen started cheating on Kurt. Now, I'm not saying that Kurt actually got all emotional, saying he was like the best damn father in the world. I'm guessing Kurt Angle is really hard to live with, just in terms of the sheer demands of the schedule and the amount of medication he's on, the workout schedule. And besides that, I think he's kind of a jerk. But just aside from that, this is actually really uncomfortable for me to watch, and I don't really approve of it. But I guess that's just personal preference. If you can put that aside, the crowd really does kind of dig the storyline. So I don't know. And really, it does demonstrate more forethought than most Impact angles. But there are immediately a few things that kind of piss me off about this. One being, this happens a lot, by the way, where Kurt's in the ring and he's like, Jeff Jarrett, I want you and Karen to come out to this ring right now. And of course, nobody answers. And then Mike Tenay chimes in. He goes, I don't think he's going to get a response because if I've been informed properly, Karen and Jeff Jarrett have not yet reached the Impact Zone, but they're close. So I love how in the pro wrestling business, you can just show up late to work. And that even happens with this happens a lot with Hulk Hogan, by the way, where in when he was still on Impact, Hulk Hogan would be like, brothers, I'd love to hang out with you guys this week, but I got a meeting. And I can't move this meeting. I gotta fly out of town to meet with some executives. Of course, you picked the one day during the week that you have live TV. You had this. You scheduled this meeting exactly for the day that you had Impact. The one time during the week you should never ever schedule a meeting to run your business. You put a meeting there, and this happens on WWE. You'll see Teddy Long, who's just not at SmackDown because he's got business or something like that. This happens a lot. But Jeff Jarrett, one of the most important guys in the company right now, he's just not here. He's going to show up 10 minutes late to work. Just because. If you've ever been any kind of performer, you have a curtain time. You got to be there at curtain time when you've been called, whether if you're in the third act or you're in the first act or you've got one line at the very end of the play, you're there when the play starts. So but pro wrestling, you show up whenever, that doesn't matter. So yeah, what happens is Immortal comes out, and right away Immortal's music sucks. It starts out it's kind of a mix between the NWO theme and Hulk Hogan's Voodoo Child thing, where it's but it's terrible. It really is just the same. It goes and it just keeps looping like that. It's this 2-second loop just over and over and over and over again, and so it sucks. So Bischoff and Flair come out, and without saying a word, they call the police. And the police come down, and they get Kurt. Oh, I forgot. Before this, but Jeff Jarrett's not in the Impact Zone, but Jeff Jarrett's, cronies are. He's got this, he's got, an entourage, in mixed martial arts. When they come out, they've got coaches and stuff like that. So they've all got this little mixed martial arts routine coming on where they all wear the same clothes. And they all come down, and they attack Kurt, and Kurt beats them away. He beats them down. Then Immortal comes out, and then he comes out with the cops. Bischoff comes out with the cops, and the cops come down, and they escort Kurt Angle from the arena. And of course, we have to see every single step of them escorting him out of the Impact Zone. I would not have believed them just walking him off the ramp and saying they got rid of him. No, we had to... The entire zone, and the entire fucking time the Immortal theme is playing... I'm guessing this is going to get stupider before the night is out. We'll see, but I'm going to get started here. So there's a lot more Impact to watch, so I can't go obsessing over stuff like this right now. Hang on. Oh my god. I can't even... This just happened, and I don't want to go out of order, but I was all set to do one rant on one thing, and then something else happened that is so fucking stupid. Oh, by the way, I'm over here now because the lighting's better, and I'm right in front of the TV. Kurt Angle's back in the arena. Like, immediately. They just had a match, and then they go backstage, and Kurt Angle's there, who was just escorted out of the building. There's Mike Tenay. I always love how Mike Tenay just hand waves this shit away. He goes, well, the police escorted Kurt Angle out of the building, but it looks like he's not going anywhere soon. What the fuck? You just had the police remove him forcibly from the building. Did they not arrest him for trespassing? I don't know why they would. It's not like it's not like they've done that for anyone else who's just spontaneously showed up at the Impact Zone, especially considering that Kurt Angle, even though he's retired, basically still works there. You know, he's had matches. He still has legitimate business with this guy. So apparently they didn't arrest him. Apparently what happened was the police escort Kurt Angle out of the building, and they say, now don't you go back in that building, Kurt Angle. We're gonna go now, but you behave. And Kurt's like, I swear, I won't go back in that building. And so they get in their car and they drive away, and Kurt immediately fucking turns around, goes back in the building. Jesus Christ. If only they'd done that with John Cena when he was fired. Just call the police. But apparently, the police are God damn. Alright, so what I was about to bitch about was the women's non-title Fatal 4-Way involving, Velvet Sky, Mickie James, the Canadian-Mexican Sarita, and the women's champion Madison Rayne. And I have so much to say about Madison Rayne right now. I can't believe I have to talk so much about this fucking Knockouts wrestling. Okay, so first off, Madison Rayne's music sucks. Like, it sucks so much. It's like beginning guitar lessons when you're just learning chords, and it's like, and that's it. Like, that's the whole song. So she comes out with, like, okay, this must be how they do it. Like, they go, Madison Rayne's gimmick this, hang on, what's Madison Rayne's gimmick this week? It's gonna be, here we go. 8, Beauty Queen. She's got a Beauty Queen gimmick. So, let's just roll the dice today and give her a new gimmick. And I just realized, Madison Rayne has the most gimmicks in wrestling right now. It's fucking ridiculous. And, okay, she comes out this week, for the first time, in a sash and tiara. And the sash says Queen on it. So she's a beauty queen. Yeah. So here, I actually made a list. I was over there making a list when Kurt Angle came out, and I made a list of all the fucking gimmicks that Madison Rayne has. And I actually just added one because I realized that I remember talking to Matthew from Botchamania about this, and he even added one. So let's just keep count now on how many gimmicks Madison Rayne has. Beauty queen gimmick. All right. She has a biker chick bodyguard as a gimmick, so she has a bodyguard gimmick. She has a motorcycle gimmick. She has a loaded glove gimmick where she knocks. She has a loaded glove she knocks people out with. So that's 4. The motorcycle chick has her own loaded gimmick where she has a loaded elbow brace that she knocks people out with the elbow brace. That's 5. And also, I don't know if she still does this, but I'm counting it. Fuck it, I'm counting it. Tara also has a motorcycle helmet gimmick that she knocks people out with. She hits people in the back with the motorcycle. So that's 6. And then the one I just forgot to add was the fact that she has a lesbian gimmick. Because when she comes out to the ring with her bodyguard, more often than not, she does this little really very tepid lesbian kiss with Tara. So 7 fucking gimmicks. And we're not even done with her yet because I'm not even counting the fact that she's Knockouts champion. I'm not counting that as a gimmick. Whatever. So, my favorite part is, Mike Tenay wonders aloud, he says, why does Madison Rayne allowed to come to the ring with the loaded glove? Like, she obviously uses this thing as a weapon. She used it to knock out Mickie James at Genesis. She knocks people out with it all the fucking time. And then Taz goes, well, I don't know. I don't think there's any evidence that it's a loaded glove. I don't think there's any evidence that there's anything that can be used as a weapon with that thing. Except for the fact that she's done it twice now, and the fact that Earl Hebner could easily grab her hand and go, wow, there's a steel fucking plate in that glove. Or, like, that glove is filled with lead buckshot. God damn it. That's why the referee, it happens so often now you don't even notice it, but you notice how the referee will kind of do this token little frisking of a wrestler before he starts, like he'll check the knee pad and he check the boots. Never finds anything, of course. But that's why they do that, is to make sure there's nothing fucking loaded in your gloves or your knee brace or something like that. So this match is already fucking stupid. It's way fucking stupid. It's also a really, really bad match because Sarita, normally one of the most dependable wrestlers you've got, sucked air in this match. And they do this thing where Tara comes down and she hits Mickie James with the loaded elbow brace. Okay? So Mickie James is fucking dead. She's knocked out. Madison Rayne sees this, and instead of just pinning her like she ought to, because she's fucking knocked out, she's clearly out. She looks at this, smiles wide, and then she throws her hand up in the air with the glove. Okay? She's like, and she is fucking spelling it out for the dimmest fucking member of the audience. I have a loaded glove! And then she's not done. So she starts doing this. She starts, like, shaking her hand to load. Mike today calls it. He's even like, whatever she's doing, she's shaking her hand to load whatever's in that glove to the front, so she could knock Madison or knock Mickie out. So, okay, first off, what's in this glove that has to be shaken forward? I guess it's like buckshot, right? So, but that's what she's doing. She spends like 10, 15 seconds, like, spelling it out for the idiots in the crowd. She must be loading the glove. Of course, she's been doing this every day she's had this fucking glove. So, but the refs are powerless because there's no evidence that it's loaded. So, Mickie gets up. She spent so much time loading the glove, she actually recovered from her initial knockout. Madison swings her loaded glove. Mickie ducks, knocks out the other two guys, and then Mickie rolls Madison up for the 3 count. So, the whole interference thing from Tara, the whole loaded glove gimmick from Madison, none of it meant anything. So, I guess they were just deliberately wasting our fucking time. Congratulations. I feel so much more enlightened now. God damn, this is stupid. But this loaded glove thing, she honestly was like, it was like watching charades. Like, the blind people could tell she had loaded that glove by that point. If you just had the TV on mute and she was like, if somebody was just describing it for her, she's shaking her hand up and down, and then she's pointing at her hand like there's a weapon. Fuck it. I'm sorry. This is gonna get so much worse. I know. So they like to do these backstage segment things that take like 5 seconds. And so I skipped past it. I was like, oh shit, I gotta go back. So I go back too far. I go back again. I skip over it again. So I hate watching the commercials. So I keep skipping past the commercials. So I finally get this thing queued up. And it's one of those backstage segment things where the camera's all shaky and it's zooming in and zooming out and stuff like that. You can't tell what the fuck's going on. And so eventually I see that Samoa Joe is talking to this guy. I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. And Joe's like, you've been doing good work for me, man. I just need you to keep doing a little bit longer, something. I'm going to go back out there. So Samoa Joe leaves, and we finally get a look at this guy. And he's kind of like this Asian dude. And he's got this little flip camera. And so I'm inferring that he's the cameraman that Samoa Joe's been employing to get footage of the Pope. All right? So, but the thing is, though, here's the killer part. He's dressed really funny. He's dressed like... And as soon as I start thinking this, they pretty much confirm it. I start thinking he's got like a chauffeur's outfit on, where he's got like a chauffeur's hat, and he's got like a chauffeur's jacket on, like Kato from the Green Hornet. And as soon as I start thinking he's Kato from the Green Hornet, they cut to the next match. But Taz starts saying, well, it looks like Samoa Joe's got Okada as his bodyguard. And I'm like, whoa. I almost stopped the video there just so I could ask a very simple question. Who the fuck is Okada? Like, seriously, Taz, he says, it looks like Joe just got Okada as his cameraman. And they just leave it at that. Like, he just drops it, and they start talking about the match. And I'm like, who the fuck is Okada? I don't even know who Surge is. And we're talking about Okada? Seriously, he says, like, Okada, like, he's somebody I should know. Like, like, if I were to watch that scene, I shouldn't even have to be told. Like, I'd go back there and go, oh, that's Samoa Joe with Okada. I don't know who fucking Okada is. Is he a wrestler? Was he on TNA broadcasting? I don't know. But I finally realized, like, immediately, as soon as I start thinking, I start turning over the word Okada in my head. It's an anagram for Akato. He's got a Kato. He literally has Kato as his cameraman. Jesus Christ, I gotta calm down. Oh my god. Okay, so the next match, if you want to call it a match, Ric Flair comes out with Rob Terry. If you don't know Rob Terry, he's this big fucking jacked up British dude. And I mean, he's fucking jacked. This guy can't wrestle for shit, but he is built like a fucking colossus. So, they must really like his look because the guy can't wrestle for shit. So, Ric Flair starts coming out and serving as his mouthpiece, which is the best thing for him, really, because the guy can't talk neither. So, he starts talking about how sexy Rob Terry is. Yeah, I'm serious. He starts talking like, who wouldn't want to go home with this guy right here? And so all the women are going, boo. And Ric Flair says something really weird. He says, ladies, Rob Terry would take all three of you on at once and hurt you at the same time. And I start turning that over in my head a little bit. And I'm like, how does that... my first thought goes to, like, human centipede territory, where, like, is he implying his dick is so long he would have, like, these three chicks on a shish kebab? Like, that was my first thought. And my second thought was, like, I don't know, like, he's got his thumbs. He's like working three at and there's really no wholesome way to think about that where it actually makes any kind of physical sense. But thankfully, Matt Morgan comes out for the match. And what happens is, Matt Morgan immediately fucking kicks this guy in the face with the carbon footprint for the 1, 2, 3. This match lasted no longer than 5 seconds. It was like, ding, 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 kick. That was it. That was the whole match. Which, again, I was about to complain that the match sucked or that it wasn't even a match. But if it saves me from having to watch a Matt Morgan-Rob Terry match, I'm all for it. Wow. So, like, immediately, they start to brawl. And they brawl for, like, 10 minutes. Where like... Matt Morgan starts to... He's like pointing at Ric Flair. Then Abyss comes out. And Abyss starts beating on Matt Morgan. And then Ric Flair starts beating up on Matt Morgan. And then Matt Morgan, like, hulks up. And he's like, and he starts pushing him down. He clotheslines them both. And then he's like, he's standing tall. And then they jump him again. Like, finally Rob Terry gets to his feet. And he clips his leg out from under him. And he's like, oh, shit. And then all three members of the Immortals starts beating him up again. And then he hulks up again. And he starts beating them all up again. And then finally they leave him laying. They leave Matt Morgan laying and they leave. And they're like, that's what you get. It was really exhausting just to watch. So, what else happened? Oh, right. So they show clips from the Tokyo Dome nobody gives a shit about. Then they go back to AJ Styles talking to Kazarian. Apparently Kazarian has Jay Lethal in the ring for the X Division title again. And so AJ's psyching Kazarian up. He's like, you beat him once, you can do it again. You got to take care of business. You're a rock star, baby. You're a rock star. So, like, Kazarian leaves. And then this was really silly to me, and maybe it didn't bother anyone else, but Kazarian walks off the frame, and no sooner is Kazarian off frame than some big dude who I finally just figured out is the guy who was Amazing Red's brother, or supposedly his brother, in the Mixed Martial Arts Challenge. The guy is like, Amazing Red comes up to Jeff Jarrett and he's like, I got a little brother. And Jeff Jarrett's like, oh, really? Who's your little brother? And so he goes, this guy. And so he brings up this big fucking jacked up dude. And that's Amazing Red's brother. Anyway, this big fucking jacked up dude, as soon as Kazarian is off frame, garrots AJ Styles. He takes like a cord and like throws it around AJ's neck and starts to strangle him. And so... And he starts shouting in his ear. He's like, you got 2 weeks, bitch! You got 2 weeks before they come here, and they're gonna end Immortal. And so he's like straight. So what was funny to me was Kazarian was not even 10 feet away when this occurs. Like he like walks off. Oh, they're coming! They're coming! And like Kazarian never thought to look back at the strange sounds of choking and strangulation, the sound of some loud guy yelling about they're coming and throwing AJ against the ground. But Kazarian must be deaf. It must be all the pyro that goes on in the impact zone, or too many blows to the head. But Kazarian, either that or he didn't give a shit. So that's what's going on. That's all I got. All right, so I misspoke earlier. I initially said that Kurt was backstage in the building. He was not, or maybe he was, and I just misinterpreted. But apparently he's walking around like the parking garage, something like that. So at the beginning and the end of this segment, they show Kurt, and he's trying to get into the building. He's like, actually, what was funny was Kurt is kind of stalking around, and the cameraman is like secretly following him. And Kurt's kind of like, he's moving around like he's like, it's like discovered footage of Bigfoot. So like the camera will be like peering around behind the corner, and Kurt will be like, so he's like, you could tell whoever was directing him was like, you're looking for a way in, Kurt. And so he's all, is there a way in here? No. So yeah, so this whole time he finally gets in the building. But what amuses me about this is that the cameraman is following Kurt. The cameraman clearly knows Kurt is there. The announcers are making comments about Kurt. They have shown him on TV in the immediate area. They've just shown him getting into the building. So this is not a mystery. This is not like footage that we can see but the commentators don't. Like, everyone knows this. The commentators, management, anybody who is currently watching the feed right now knows that Kurt Angle was not in fact escorted away from the premises by the police. So can Eric Bischoff call the police again? Like, because he's still there. Like, if Bischoff is watching TV, if he's watching his own show, then he would know Kurt Angle just got back in the building. Like, can he not call the police again? Because clearly this guy is about to commit assault on somebody in the fucking impact zone. Like, clearly he's eluded the police. God damn it. Okay. So they have there's a match, Kazarian versus Jay Lethal for the X Division Championship. And I'm going to catch heat for this, but this match was lousy. It was... Okay, first off, it was not up to X Division standards. Like, you know, when the X Division actually meant something? It means nothing now because there is no X Division. It used to be for, like, the high flyers, the exciting wrestlers, the guys in TNA who could actually go. And I'm not saying Jay Lethal and Kazarian can't go. I'm saying that this title represents something that no longer exists anymore, and they're not even attempting to put on matches of that same style when guys like Amazing Red and Shark Boy and all these other X Division wrestlers who were really, really good could put on these matches like this, and they don't even try to put on matches like this. This was a very pedestrian, boring, grounded match. It just wasn't any good. And Kazarian wins by getting a pinfall and holding onto the ropes. And of course, the referee Jackson James doesn't see it, so they're slow burning this whole heel turn with the referee, who's Eric Bischoff's kid. And so that's really all that's going on. Next, the next segment coming up is Jeff Jarrett and Karen are going to come out and talk, and this segment is really going to hurt bad. Oh my god, I got it playing right now. This bitch, her voice is like, it's like some high-pitched screeching noise, like right, it's right here. It's like, oh, there's Kurt. Thank God she can shut up. He just German suplexed Jeff Jarrett. Oh. She was talking for like 3 minutes before I turned the camera on. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something to get this, like, to stop the noise. Ah. God damn. God. How could you live with that? How could you live with that voice? Jarrett! Kurt! My husband is part owner of this company! And you know what that makes me, Kurt? You're pathetic, Kurt! I'm raising my kids on our own! Why would you assume that one German suplex took Jeff Jarrett out? He turns his back on the guy, Jeff Jarrett hits a low blow. God. I know I'm face-palming pretty much this entire episode. This fucking show gives me a headache. Why was Jeff unaware that Kurt Angle was in the building? You showed him on TV. Why are the police not being summoned right now? Like, Eric Bischoff preemptively called the police to get rid of Kurt before he even showed up. But now that we know Kurt is in the middle of the ring right now, we've had like 20 minutes of warning. He's in the ring right now. I don't see no cops. God. Now Jeff Jarrett is beating up on Kurt. And I can hear Karen taunting over the sound of the crowd. That's how piercing and shrill her fucking voice is. It hurts. Okay, I gotta cut the camera. I gotta do something about this voice. If she's gonna be on TV every week like this, I can't do it. I cannot watch this woman. I cannot listen to this woman talk. Some bitch just needs to shut up. This bitch needs to shut up. Oh, God. Kurt Angle has still not been arrested. We go backstage. He is trashing the area backstage. Nobody gives a shit. Like, he's honestly, like, going through and just, like, ripping down everything he sees. There's no cops. There's no stagehands. There's no building security. Nothing. So, anyway. We have Tommy Dreamer versus Jeff Hardy. And, again, this was not a very good match. Mainly because you got Tommy Dreamer in the ring. I'm sorry, the guy is just not that good. And I was actually a little puzzled as to what he was wearing. And apparently, the commentators were too. Tommy was wearing these pants. But they weren't quite pants. They come down to, like, just below the knee. Like what I'm showing you now. They're like these really baggy pants. Almost like boxer shorts. Not boxer shorts, but like basketball shorts. Except these basketball shorts go, like, just below the knee. And I'm not sure actually how far normal basketball shorts go. But, like, I think when women wear these, they're called pedal pushers. They look a little like that, where they've got them, like, rolled up to cuffs, and so that's what Tommy's wearing. And Taz started speculating. He goes, "I don't know what Tommy's wearing there. It was knickers. It was like knickers." That was about as good a description as I've heard. As he could be wearing knickers. I was thinking maybe like if they were tucked into higher boots, they'd be jodhpurs. I don't know. Anyway, so a couple more things happen. They love doing this backstage shit. So. This is a really funny segment. I don't quite understand what happened, but I'll try to recap. The Pope is backstage with this guy. He's just a guy who's using his like a MacBook. It's like an Apple laptop computer. So he's got this thing open, and the guy is using the computer, and the Pope is like, "Hey, Daddy, I got to use the computer, man." And the guy's like, "Yeah, okay, Pope. Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just doing something here." And Pope's like, "Ah." "No, man, you don't understand, Daddy. The Pope has got business he got to take care of." And the guy's like, "I know, I'm doing something here, Pope." And Pope's like, "Daddy, I got all these things I got to do. We got this European tour I got to take of, and the Pope's got to take care of what the Pope's got to take care of." And the guy's like, "I'm almost done, all right? You can use it, but And so you can see Pope. He's like, I like you, man. You're not like all the other guys. You pay attention to the Pope. And so you can see Pope is actually taking his phone out, and he's dialing this guy whose name is Brian. I was paying attention. So he dials this guy, and the guy's phone rings, and he's like, hello, hello. I can't hear you, because nobody's on the other end, obviously. It's the Pope calling him. So he's like, I can't hear you. Hang on a second. I'm going to go someplace where there's better reception. So he gets up, and he leaves. And the Pope starts muttering to himself. He picks up the laptop. He closes it, and he's like, bastard. And he takes the laptop, and he goes, you don't tell the Pope no. Pope's going to take your laptop. And he walks off with the laptop. So Pope has just stolen this man's laptop. But what I don't get is, how does the Pope expect to get away with this? Pope has just stolen at least $1,000 worth of equipment here. He's stolen this guy's laptop. He's done it on national TV. So when this guy comes back, who the fuck else does he think could have possibly taken the laptop? Like, even had this not been captured on TV, he was the only other guy in the area. He could easily track down the number that dialed him, and he was like, he's obviously going to call the police on the Pope. Because he even said, Pope's going to take your laptop, and he walks off with. What was the Pope's plan here? He didn't even just, like, use the computer. Like, I would have actually considered that to be a successful heel thing to do. Like, if he called him, lured him out of the area, and he was like, you don't tell the Pope no, now Pope's going to check Pope's email. And he checks his email, and he's laughing, and then you fade. But he stole the guy's laptop. I don't understand this. So, another backstage segment occurs. Because in-ring action is overrated in TNA. We don't need any of that. We need more talking. So we go backstage where AJ's coming back to Ric Flair. And he's like, oh my God, I guess that motherfucker choked me. And he's like, who's they? This guy was telling me that they are coming. And Ric's like, we're they. They are us. They are we. And woo! And so all of a sudden he picks up his jacket and AJ has been iced. That thing, that thing they've been doing for like 6 fucking months, where like Ric Flair's been getting iced. This is the payoff, apparently. Where like Ric Flair's all celebrating. He's like, woo, woo! 6 months I've been waiting to do this. Woo! You gotta drink it. You gotta drink it. And so AJ's like, I can't. This guy was fucking choking me with a nylon cord, you asshole. And he's like, you gotta drink it. And he's like, I don't want to drink it. I got fucking strangulated, man. He's like, you gotta drink it. Woo! And so AJ's like, all right, I'll fucking drink it. He takes a thing and he's like, it burns my throat, Rick. And he's like, what kind of pussy are you? Drink it! And he's like, I can't do it. And then all of a sudden, fucking Kurt Angle comes roaring in and he levels AJ with a baseball bat. Has not been AJ's week, to say the least. But he starts threatening Rick, and Rick starts begging off at me like a complete pussy. I loved it. He's like, what are you mad at me? I'm your biggest fan, Kurt. I just work here. Woo! And so like he's doing this thing where he's all begging off. He's completely pathetic, and Kurt throws the bat down. He starts to choke him. And this was actually a really, really good segment. I was liking this part where it was really intense. I was like, Kurt was fucking like Eye of the Tiger on this guy. He was like Jack Bauer in this shit. So like Rick is making these horrible like strangulation sounds, like, and Kurt's like, you better get fucking Jeff Jarrett in that ring like right now. I'm coming out there in like 10 minutes, and he better be in that fucking ring, or I'm coming for you, Rick. And Rick's like, I know what you want. So now we got a beer money match I gotta watch, and that's next. But that was actually that so far was the only good segment in this entire show so far. Yeah, that was pretty good. Although the whole icing thing, if it was all leading up to that, consider that whole little development a failure. Man. We're in the home stretch now. We've got Beer Money versus... This is the main event, by the way, and I'm like 20 minutes ahead of the main event. There's still more showing on. But anyway, the main event, Beer Money versus RVD and Mr. Anderson. It's a rematch, non-title. So I don't have much to say about this match. It was okay, but what really struck my attention on this match was the fact that there came a point where they fight. It's going everyone's fighting, and then all of a sudden Jeff Hardy comes down, and Jeff Hardy draws the referee's attention away. He's running interference, and all of a sudden, I'm not even being funny when I say that I honestly thought that a homeless person had jumped the ring and entered it. There was some weird guy wearing blue flannel with this crazy fucking hair, and all of a sudden I realized that's Matt Hardy. I swear to God, I would tell you if I was joking around or if I was being sarcastic. No, my first thought when I saw Matt Hardy in that ring, I was like, there is some fat fucking homeless guy in the ring. How did he get in there? I swear to God, that's what I thought. So there's this, he's wearing this ridiculous blue flannel. He's got like fucking, they're not dreadlocks. They're like little, really tiny micro braids. Like hundreds of these little braids that go down, and they're all colored different colors. He looks like a fucking idiot. So he drops RVD with a twist of fate, and the heels win. So the Hardys retreat, and I still can't believe that Jeff Hardy looks like the sane one of these two. I really don't have much more to say about that. Matt Hardy really looks fucking stupid. He doesn't look like a wrestler anymore. That's really the bottom line. Is before the guy used to be in shape, he didn't have a great look, but he had a look. I honestly always thought that Matt Hardy was one of the ugliest motherfuckers I ever saw. Like, if you ever saw in WWE, when you got a close-up of that guy, Matt Hardy is fucking ugly. Like, he is. I honestly didn't know, like, when the Hardy Boys were in the ring, it used to be, like, Matt Hardy would take his shirt off and the ladies would go, eee! Dude, if you were this close, like, if you were as close to Matt Hardy as you are, right, like, to me right now, you would be, the guy's face looks like a pound of fucking hamburger. It really, he is not an attractive man. Woo. Anyway, so, I'm already forgetting all the stuff that happened. I remember. Okay, so we're doing a follow-up now of the whole Kurt Angle thing. So Ric Flair's in Eric Bischoff's office, and he is freaking the fuck out. He's like, he's talking to Jeff Jarrett. He's like, Jeff, you gotta go in the ring, man. I don't got nothing to do with this, man. And so like Rick is like, somebody's going to jail, and it's not gonna be me, bro. Woo! And so he's like freaking out. He doesn't want Kurt Angle to hurt him. So like I was digging it because Ric Flair is awesome. He's always awesome. So Jeff Jarrett's like, I'm not going out there. You fucking crazy? And Eric Bischoff goes. This is my favorite part of this show, right? It's my new favorite part of the show, where Eric goes, he's like, Jeff, you got to trust me on this, but you got to go out there. He's like, I got your back. I got your back, but you got to trust me. You got to go out there. And Jeff Jarrett's like, okay. And Ric Flair goes, yeah, you go meet your maker, Jeff. And he walks out, and I'm going, this is a horrible plan. He's like, wouldn't it be funny if Jeff Jarrett went out there and nobody came out to fucking help him? Like, they just unabashedly threw Jeff Jarrett to the wolves on this one. Like, just they sent Jeff Jarrett out there to die, like, just to appease Kurt Angle. Like, Just to have this whole thing. No, that's not what's going to happen. That the aftermath hasn't happened yet. It's the last thing that's going to happen. But yeah, he's like, you got to trust me. You got to go out there and just. We won't tell you the plan. We could tell you the plan, Jeff, but we're going to keep it under wraps. You don't need to know the plan. Really, why would he not tell Jeff the plan? Is it because there's like a cameraman in the office? That's never stopped you before. That didn't stop you from letting Kurt Angle back in the building. That's not. I would guarantee you, if you told him the plan on TV, I guarantee you Kurt's not watching the fucking monitors, because apparently no one does in this fucking show. But here's the plan for you, Eric. Eric, plan. You pick up the phone. 911. Yes. Where the fuck's what? I forget what town they're in now. I watch this every week. It's not Miami. It's wherever the fuck it is. They're like, hello, police? Yeah. You remember that guy you fucking threw out of the building? Well, he's back now. And he's assaulting people. He's German suplexing our employees. He's not authorized to be in the building. He's trashing our equipment. And he recently attacked a man with a baseball bat. And he choked a 60-year-old man. Yes. Yes, I'll hold. That's your plan. I guarantee you. I fucking guarantee you the police are not going to come out for this thing next. So, okay, next. More backstage. Because we can't have wrestling. More backstage. So, Brian Kendrick. And every fucking time I see Brian Kendrick, I cannot believe the gimmick they have saddled him with. Because every time I see it, it is like, I remember how bad it is and how long he has been saddled with this gimmick. Okay, if you don't remember, Brian Kendrick's gimmick is that he is a hippie. He's like a guru, where he's all meditative, and he literally meditates. Like, if you remember the cage match between like Fortune and ECW, that whole time it was like 4-on-4, and the whole time on top of the fucking cage, Brian Kendrick is all cross-legged, like harnessing his chakras and stuff. And he says stuff like that. So he's backstage with Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, and so he's like Bully Ray. I know you've got these anger issues, and I had anger issues too, and anger management didn't do nothing for me. But you know what really worked? He goes yoga, and Bully Ray is like, really, yoga? And he's like, yeah, yoga. I show you how to do it. It's all about breathing, man. You go in and out. And so like Bully Ray goes, interesting. Show me again. And so he closes his eyes, and Bubba fucking throws him into these lockers. That must have sucked. So Devon comes to the ring, and he calls Bubba out. Because he's like, we never finished what we started at Genesis. I'm going to finish this. And so Bully Ray comes out, and of course he's doing this thing where he's talking tough, but he's not getting in the ring. Again, I really liked how they're doing this feud, where a lot of people are complaining that it's moving really slow and that it's always kind of anticlimactic. But that's the point with this feud. This is how you do this sort of thing, where you have basically a chicken shit heel who you want to see get beat up, and he is only striking when things are opportune for him. And so, like, whenever it's a fair fight, he backs away. This is how you do it. It really is. This is how you break this up over a course of months, where you have the heel always striking cowardly from behind, and you always save the payoff to the pay-per-view. That's how you do it. So he's like, I can beat you up anytime I want. He's not doing it. So all of a sudden, Brian Kendrick comes flying out of the ring, and he looks like he's wearing like tighty whities. Looks like he's wearing looks like he's wearing Hanes underwear. So he comes out there, he fucking throws Bully Ray in the ring, and Devon starts to beat him up. And so Bubba, he starts. They start a fight back and forth. All of a sudden, Bully Ray gets the advantage. He starts wrapping a chain around his fist, and so Devon ducks the chain, he hits him, he takes the chain away, and Devon starts wrapping the chain around his fist. And all of a sudden, TNA security hits the ring. Like 5 fucking guys wearing TNA security shirts hit the ring, and they start to grab Devon by like every limb. There's like 2 guys on his legs, 2 guys on his arms, and 1 guy like got him in a fucking headlock. And I go, oh, now TNA security has mobilized. Now, this is serious. This TNA has to stop. Building security is all over this shit. This Bully Ray and Devon, this had gone too far. Building security is on this shit. So, no. We couldn't have this for Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, who has now evaded the police, is illegally trespassing twice on TNA property, has assaulted Jeff Jarrett, has choked out a man who choked out Ric Flair with his bare hands, who trashed backstage, who hit AJ Styles in the back of the head with a baseball bat. But no, TNA security, nowhere to be found. Whoa! No. Now that Devon's got a chain, security got their thumb out of their asses, and they're going to stop this. Oh, yeah. A little consistency here is all I'm asking for. Next is the big confrontation. We're going to have Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett in the ring for what? The 3rd time? Alright, this is officially fucking goofy. So, I was ripping on Bischoff's plan earlier, and maybe I was wrong. Because the plan is actually very deceptively simple. Kurt Angle's in the ring. Jeff Jarrett comes out. And then 9 men jump in the ring and beat up Kurt Angle. That was it. That was the plan. It was like, Kurt Angle, there's one of him, and Immortal and Fortune, there's about 9 of us. I think we've got this. So sure enough, like, every fucking member of Immortal dives in the fucking ring and starts beating up Kurt Angle. It's that simple. You know, it's like, okay. Gee, how stupid do you look, Kurt? I don't know. So all of a sudden, there's one guy missing. So they're all beating up on Kurt. They're all taking turns. Just like they're holding his arms back and they're punching. All of a sudden, Abyss comes out. And Abyss comes out like he's like, ah! His arms splayed wide. Ah! And like Ric Flair, he points up the ring. He's like, come on, Abyss, come on. We're all beating up Kurt Angle. It's fun. And they're like, yay, come on. Everyone's and Abyss is like, ah. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We're beating up Kurt Angle. And Abyss is like, ah. He falls over. And he falls, like, he pitches forward face first on the ramp. And buried in his back is the nail-covered board, like, all of it. Like, the entire side of it is just, like, wedged in his fucking back. It looks like, if you ever saw, like, a Halloween movie, where, like, some guy will, like, be propped against the door, like, somebody will be trying to leave the house, and they whip the door open, and there'll be someone, like, leaned up against the back door, like, and the guy's like, there's a killer, we gotta go, and the guy's like, and the guy falls over, and there's, like, a fucking machete in his back. That's what this is. Where like Abyss has been fucking murdered. The man is dead. He has a fucking like like these things like 7-inch nails is like wedged in his fucking back. The dude is just dead. And so the Amazing Red's brother, they call him Crimson, comes out and he looks like a vampire. He's got this really elaborate suit on with like a red vest underneath it and a big red tie. It's a really cool looking suit, but he has these really goofy facial expressions. He's like, hey, they are coming! February 3rd, they are coming! And so, like, that's how it ends. It's basically like, Crimson has murdered Abyss with the fucking board, and they are coming. That's it. That's the show. I honestly don't know where you go from here, because we have escalated the level of violence. You know, wait. I'm sorry. You know what? I got to backtrack a little bit. There was a really funny bit that happened with the, I forgot this happened, with the Devon and Bubba Ray thing. Security is pulling Devon down, and I was like, I was finally like ranting about security, but Bubba beats up security by himself. Like, he punches all 5 guys and they go down. He beats up Devon and he takes a chair and he sticks Devon's head in the chair. And he takes his chain and he whacks the fucking chair with his chain. Which, his head is in the chair, he whacks the chair with a chain, and it, like, I don't know how that's supposed to, but it must have been really loud. So, because what happens is, Devon, the impact of this chain against the chair sent Devon into a grand mal seizure, because, I'm not even kidding, his leg, he's like, like that, his leg is like vibrating. It was really hilarious. I can only assume that Devon has sustained massive brain trauma and will never return to wrestling again, because if you're actually spasming like that, you probably have serious neurological problems. Speaking of, I'm pretty sure that Abyss is paralyzed from now on. Not sure. You know what? Knowing Impact, Abyss will be fine next week. Yeah, bank on that. And I'll be here, watching as always. Till next time.